Hello there, Red Army, and welcome to Chad TV. Now, on this week's show, I'm pleased to be in the company of Chadderton FC coach Jack Cocking. As he talks about his brief spell at the club. He's only been with us a short time, of course, and just how influential he's been on the team, given the run of form that the team is in at the moment. Just how Jack is enjoying it, and discussing the last 3 wins on the spin, of course, and just how about momentum and stuff like that, and how. But firstly, let's just talk about Dillan O'Connor, of course, our JW Lees Brewery Player of the Month for December. He scored 11 goals this season, scored an absolute worldie on Saturday during our narrow 4-3 win over AFC Darwen, a hard-fought victory. And Dillan's been fantastic this season. So congratulations to Dillan O'Connor, your JW Lees Brewery December Player of the Month here at Chadderton Football Club. Congratulations to Dillan as he collected his award on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, let's get Jack Cocking live on the line right now, shall we? Hello there, Jack. I hope you're well. Firstly, thank you very much for being a part of Chad TV today. It's great to speak to you. Obviously, you've only been with us a short while. When you did come to the club, obviously, the results weren't coming. And the way we've been playing over the past week, 7-0 victory last Saturday, 4-1 away at Steeton in midweek, in a very much a hard-fought performance where we had to grind out a win in the last 10 minutes. And then Saturday, another hard-fought win against a very, very strong Darwen side. You must be really pleased with how the lads are performing at the minute, and not just the performances, but what matters the most at this level of football is getting the results, playing well, and taking those crucial chances when they come.
Good evening, Tom. Thank you for having us on Chad TV. It's a pleasure. I'm really pleased at the moment with the way the lads have been performing. 3 wins in 3, 9 points on the board, and you can't really ask for any more than that. They've been working really hard. We got a 7-0 victory at home against Cleatormore Celtic. Then we travelled away to Steeton, came away with 3 points there. And then the confidence they took straight into the AFC Darwen game. And again, the lads got what they deserved at the end of the day. They dug deep. They never let their heads drop. They always believed that they could get another goal. And they never let Darwen, take control and go in front, which was a positive thing to see, really. I'm really, really pleased.
So now then, Jack, obviously you've been at the club a couple of months. Just how has the job role been for you as a coach? You put in all the hard yards with the boys. Just how delighted for the lads. Obviously you see them in training, working so hard throughout the week. Just how satisfying is it for you to see the performances now coming out and the wins coming as well? Because it was a tough time a couple of months ago when you came to the club. We all know the talent that the lads possess, and you can't play a perfect game of football every single week, and results are very important. So just how would you assess the situation from when you came to the club to the way the lads are playing now? We've got a very talented bunch, a very young squad as well.
Yeah, I've been with the club a couple of months now. When I first came in, they played a different formation, and going into the new formation, lads just accept things, they work hard. They're very versatile as well, some of the players. We can ask quite a lot of them to do a different job here and there, if and when needed, really. So on a coaching point, it's brilliant because in training you can try new things. Lads are wanting to try new things and they want to develop as players, and they're always wanting to improve. But same with in the league, really. They want to improve and they want to, climb that table. They don't want to be at the bottom half. So I think that shows off recent performances, really. So yeah, it's really good to see.
So let's just talk about Saturday's win at home against AFC Darwen. It was a very much a hard-fought victory. We had to dig in deep, especially in the second half when the weather conditions weren't the best. It was very windy and the rain was coming down heavily. Just how pleased were you with the lads' performance, and most importantly, the victory?
Yeah, it's really pleasing, Tom, to take 3 points off AFC Darwen. They're a tough opposition, really. In the recent 10 games, I think they've won 7 of those. So, to come away with 3 points, absolutely fantastic for the lads. In the game, they got the first goal and they never let their heads drop when they conceded. They kept digging deep, and to not let Darwen, take the lead and go in front, it's a real positive, really, for all of the lads involved, not just the 11 on the pitch, but those that came on and made an impact. So, it's really, really pleasing for all of the management team, to be able to say to lads, look, are you ready to go on? And they come on and they make an impact. So at the moment, everything's fantastic, and you can't fault anyone who's working hard in that squad.
Yeah, and I think the attitude of the players, Jack, is very commendable indeed. I mean, we've seen the Darwen players fall out with each other in the first half and the second half, bawling and shouting at each other when things weren't going their way. But the attitude from our boys, despite going ahead 3 times in the match and being pulled back, it must have been frustrating from you guys on the bench, Fishy, Ashley, and yourself, to see us throw away those leads of 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. But to see the goals that we've scored over the 90 minutes we were played, and what a sensational goal it was to clinch victory. But I'll go back to what I previously said there about attitude, and none of the lads fell out with each other. There was no blame there for any individual errors leading up to goals, because I must admit all 7 goals were fantastic. There were some absolute worldies in there, as you can see from the highlights, which I managed to put together. But the attitude of the boys, mentally, very strong team, and there's no reason why we can't go on a really decent run now and push into the top 6. And I spoke to Fishy after the game. He said the playoffs is probably out of reach now, but if you look at the league table, I think there's only 4 points in it, and the way we're going, the amount of goals we're scoring, the confidence the lads have, you can't really write anything off.
Yeah, I think that's right. Things can be frustrating, not just for the management team on the sidelines as we're watching, but you got to remember those lads that are playing, if they make a mistake, it could be pretty frustrating. And then, for such a young side to not get on each other's backs and start pinpointing where they was going wrong and saying it's your fault, or, just getting on at each other. I think it was a mature performance, and I think that's where the confidence grows from, because they're not getting on each other's backs. If they make a mistake, it's like, okay, he's not done it on purpose. And they just regroup and they just keep going and keep going and keep going. So, yeah, the lads are young, but they're maturing at the same time. I've always said I like to take football 1 game at a time. And I'm not focusing on, promotion, top 6 just yet. I'd like to just keep going as we are, keep beating what's in front of us. Can we get those vital 3 points from each game, because we've got a very tough few fixtures ahead of us now, so it's all about knuckling down and just getting them individual games right first. That's how I feel.
So Jack, as you mentioned before, we've got a tough run of games now. This is our final home game for quite a while, as we've played 3 home games out of the last 4 games, as we welcome Emley AFC to the ARK Fleetech Stadium. It's going to be another tough game, I believe. They're 2nd in the league at the moment. So obviously a tough game against Darwen last Saturday, followed by another tough match against a very strong team. As I mentioned, 2nd in the league there. So just what are you and Fishy and Ashy and the rest of the management team looking to do in terms of tactics ahead of the game? Are we looking to use the same formation, the same game plan?
Yeah, another tough fixture this weekend. 2nd in the league, they're not up there for nothing. I think going into that game with 3 back-to-back wins, the confidence should be there with the lads. We've got training tomorrow night. Fishy and Ashy will want to work on things and make sure the lads are well prepped. and then we just go into Saturday's game, and what will be will be. I believe they've got a good fan base, so I'm really looking forward to it.
And finally, Jack, I think it's very deserved a quick word for Dillan O'Connor, the JW Lee's Brewery Player of the Month for December. He scored 11 goals this season. He really has contributed to the team emphatically. A very good player, scored an absolute worldie on Saturday. Some of the lads were providing elements of banter, saying that it was maybe a cross, but it was a fantastic finish. And Dillan's been prolific this season. A quick word for him on what's been a fantastic campaign so far.
Yeah, congratulations to Dillan on getting Player of the Month. I think it's well deserved. He's been popping up with quite a few goals recently, and I think there was a goal at home where he was really composed and he slotted it past the keeper. I think that was Golka. And then last week, he's put the ball right in the top corner, and from the angle I saw it, it did look like a cross. That's not trying to have a joke there, Dylan, but it looked like a cross from my angle. But when you see the footage on the highlights, it's absolutely fantastic. What a goal that was. But no, congratulations to Dylan on Player of the Month. Well deserved.
So, Jack Cocking, thank you very much for being part of Chad TV today. It was great to speak to you, and I'll see you at the ARK Fleetech Stadium on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Tom. See you on Saturday.
So then, guys, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I managed to catch up with the gaffer himself, David Fish, and Saturday's man of the match, Jordan Butterworth, straight after Saturday's 4-3 victory over AFC Darwen. Here it is. Chad TV here with the gaffer, David Fish, and Jordan Butterworth after today's hard-fought 4-3 victory over AFC Darwen. Firstly, boys, I'll just ask you for your thoughts on the game overall.
Superb. We didn't play football as well as we have done in recent weeks. I thought we played some nice passages of football, but the conditions meant we had to be a little bit more direct and adapt our game. But the character we showed to keep coming back, keep going and take a win as good as anything I've had since I've been here. Absolutely buzzing today.
I thought every time they scored a goal, I never thought I was going to lose the game. I knew we'd always get back into it, get another goal, and knew we'd just keep going.
It was a real scrap, wasn't it? Even the first half and the second half. How would you compare the two performances in each half?
I thought the first half we started a little bit slowly, and they could have maybe scored a couple of goals. We had a couple of chances early doors. I thought we overplayed a little bit. We then started to get on top. We started to play much quicker through the thirds. We started to look at getting Umar and Jack in behind, and went 1-0 up, and maybe could have been 2 or 3 before we let them back in. Second half, the weather turned, the wind was howling, the rain was falling, and it was a scrap. And Jordan Rutter, for me, I know JB won man of the match. I think that was deserved, but Jordan Rutter must have pushed him all the way because he was an absolute dynamo in midfield, broke everything down for us, and really made a difference.
Rutter in the squad again, it does bring a big lot to the team, really. It gives you that strength, the breaking up, so everyone pushes on from Rutter. I thought the first half we done all right, we done the basics right, we defended well, and second half we just knew we was going to get the goals. Just when they scored, don't worry about it, just keep going.
From the outside, I felt the first time it was about whichever team scored first would control the half. I mean, they were getting annoyed with each other. It was just about getting that first goal, getting ahead, and then so going at half time at 1-1. What was you thinking there?
A little bit disappointed to be 1-1. Based on the context of the game and how we played in the first half, because I thought we edged it. I thought we maybe could have gone in 1-2 up. So disappointed from that perspective. But at the kick-off with the wind and kicking into the wind, I said to Lee, I'd be happy with a 0-0. If you can get off at half time, draw, and we tend to do better going against the kind of up the hill away from the Andrew Street end. So 1-1 I was okay, and the big message at half time was don't panic. We've got the quality, we've got the ability, we've opened up a few times, so don't panic. Even if they scored first, I still felt we had enough to win the game.
I thought the second half with the conditions, I always knew that it suited us because we was putting balls in the right areas, whereas last month we wouldn't have done that. We'd have crumbled and we'd have conceded 2 or 3 and we wouldn't have scored the others, and then we'd have lost the game. So it just shows how far we're coming, how together we are, and the changing room showing that before half time and after the game. It's really together.
And it's that experience point JB talks about there. You know, we talk about young players, but John's probably played nearly 100 games now at this level, and now the penny's dropping with players that sometimes the conditions aren't great, the pitch isn't great, and you need to turn teams, you need to put balls in areas, you need to be a bit ugly in the way you play, and you'll get your rewards. And we did that really well today.
As I mentioned, especially in the second half, it was a real dogged scrap, wasn't it? And it would be quite easy for the lads to fall out with each other, obviously being pegged behind 3 times. It could be easy to let the lads' heads drop. And was the game on Wednesday played a big factor in that, knowing that we've been pegged back before and we've got the qualities there to come back in any game of football?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of factors to that. So one is around the quality and the belief. So we've now in a little bit of a run where we're winning games, and that makes such a difference. You know, confidence is very, very important at this level of football. But also personalities, and JB talks about the dressing room. The atmosphere before the game was great. Half time, it was still really good. There were no players digging each other out, calling each other, getting on each other's backs. It was very much a collective, and that's really important, because you know that your mate at the side of you is going to put his body on the line for you. It makes a real difference when you're a player in there.
Yeah, it's the same. You know, when someone's not having the best game, you'll have 1 or 2 lads in the change rooms at half time putting their arm around the shoulder and picking them back up, really. So it just shows that we are a strong team and we are gelling together. When we was going through the rut, I knew that it would come, it was just a matter of when, and now it looks like it is coming along good.
In terms of quality today, we've been treated to some absolute corkers, haven't we?
We've scored. I mean, Umar did really well to kind of hunt the ball down on the first one, and it wasn't an easy finish from that distance. And then the 3 finishes after that. So Dillan's out from out wide, as is from probably fully 40-45 yards, and then James Aran's winner. You're probably not going to see 3 cleaner, better strikes of the ball at this level of football. Absolutely superb, and I know that's there. And I talk about it a lot. I know the quality is there in the team, and for me, that the work rate, the desire, the want to go and get the ball and to keep going to the final whistle allowed us to then show those moments of quality to make the difference.
James hasn't been in the team a lot, really, so him coming off the bench, he needed an impact, and that's what he done today. So it was good for him.
Yeah, so James has been a little bit in and out. He played a little bit last season. He's been playing in the reserves mostly. He's come into the squad over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Came on at Steeton on Wednesday night and got an assist, got a goal today. For me, that really shows the value of that squad. You know, we talk a lot about having a squad and the first team reserves working together. We've got 25 players I know can step in and play first team football, and that proves that today.
I think today's match was a great advert for non-league football. What everything's about, it's about desire, commitment, confidence, and it was just a perfect. Even fair credit to AFC Darwen, he put up a great fight, and it was, like as I say, they're a great advert.
Value for money, fibre. 7 goals of that quality. I mean, credit to Darwen, the goal that they scored, the volley from outside the box, absolutely superb, and they matched us pretty much all the way through in terms of desire and work rate. So yeah, really great value for money and work rate, desire, but some real quality as well. People sometimes dismiss that with non-league football, but there are lads here who are, you know, highly technical footballers who can really play, and that shows from both teams.
We knew Darwen was a couple of points above us, so we knew this game would have been massive. So I think the lads was all confident after the other 2 victories. We scored, was it 11 in 2 games? So we knew we had, you know, a good going. We just needed the quality, and I think it's shown today.
So 3 wins on the spin now, and 3 very different performances. Obviously, here last Saturday, an emphatic 7-0 win. A great 4-1 win at Steeton, very hard fought, and today dug in really deep. How would you assess the last 7 days?
Brilliant, probably as good as anything we've done, and because it's so different, because we've played some really good flowing football last week, we had a real mixture of some good football but some real kind of doggedness, and then today was all about attitude, and we've shown that. Darwen came into this as a form team in the league. They were top of the form table. I think they've won 7 out of the last 8 games. That's not by chance. They're a very, very good side, and for me, we deserve to win. You know, it could have been more comfortable. We had a couple of other good chances as well. So the last week's been as good as anything. I think we've now set ourselves up really nicely to have a strong end to the season. And you know, maybe promotion's just out of reach now, but if you have a run, people are beating. You know, teams are beating everybody in this league. There's still an outside chance, and top 6 qualifies us for the FA Cup, and that'd be great for the club to get back into the FA Cup.
I think the way to beat a team is just outworking. In this league, you have to outwork who you're playing against, and then the rest comes of it. And the last 3 games, that's what we've done. We've been good at it.
Yeah, I think Jack summed it up perfectly last week. As Jordan's just said there, to beat teams, you've got to outwork them, and it's, as I say, 3 wins on the spin now. And how much confidence does this give the lads? I mentioned that it's been 3 different performances. To beat a team of AFC Darwen's calibre, and they are a very vocal team, aren't they? And they're in your face. And to come through today with a win, it must just please you moving forward.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The atmosphere was great before the game. After the game, the lads are buzzing, and they're still out there now celebrating, and that's what it's about. It's about enjoying the highs that you have in the game, making sure you make the most of them, and that's an important thing for us as a football club, that we kick on from this, but that we do take a little bit of time to enjoy the moment. That's what football's about at the end of the day. It's what gets you out of bed for days like this.
We knew Darwen were going to be loud, going to be in your face, and it was a matter of fact who's going to go under the shell or who's going to stand up to fight. I don't think one person, including the subs, went in the shell. Everyone stood up, had a fight, and give it them back really. And it shows how much we are together as a team and we can push on.
So Jordan, finally, just tell us your story of Chadderton Football Club, really where it all started for you.
Came 2-3 years ago.
2.5 years ago, just after I came to the club.
2.5 years ago, after being at Curzon, I knew I was coming into men's football. I knew it would be different, but I've learned so much, a lot more than you'd expect really. It's people are going to kick you, can you bounce up, do you go under your shell, and it's a big learning factor really.
Yeah, I think Jordan came to me, and when I took over as manager, we didn't have many players registered. The previous manager had taken them, and I called in a few favours, and Mark Bradshaw at Curzon recommended a couple of players, and Jordan was one of those players he recommended, and said he was a centre-back, and Jordan came in, and straight away, he played centre-back a few times, but straight away you could see how quality to player up the pitch, and played pretty much midfield, for all my tenure at the club. And it was never in doubt how technically gifted he was as a footballer. Jordan's a superb technical footballer. What I've seen from you though is over that 2 years he's growing into a man. So now it's running games, it's breaking things down, it's winning those big tackles, and it's making all the right decisions at the right time. And it's great. He went to Gloucester at the start of pre-season and came back to us, and he's been a massive addition, integral part of the squad. So I'm really pleased to have him at the club, and a really well liked and respected member of the dressing room.
So in terms of your relationship, obviously, Jordan, what's your relationship like with Fishy? Have you found him any different to any other manager? And David, what's Jordan like to have in the team?
I think the way he handles things is a lot better than other managers. He knows exactly who to give a bit of a bollocking at, who to put their arm around, so it works perfectly, whereas other managers, like at Gloucester, they'd be in your face, they'd bollock you, and then you expect some players to go out and just take it on the chin, whereas Fishy knows what to do, when to do it, how to say it, and it's massive really. It really helps people push on.
Yeah, I mean Jordan's a great trainer. Now and again there's a little clique of lads, and Jordan will know what I'm talking about, and he can sometimes fall into that, and you just put an arm around him, have a quiet word, and he's back to his best, backfiring in training, and always delivers on the pitch. He's a great kid to have around, and a very, very good footballer that I think we're lucky to have as a club.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers, Tom.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Nice one, well played.
Alright, thank you.
Really good.
So once again, a big thank you for tuning into Chad TV this week ahead of our North West Counties Division 1 North fixture with Emley AFC. We hope to see you all down there. Just £5 for adults, £3 for concessions, and under 16s getting absolutely free. So yeah, we'll hope to see you all down there, and thanks again for listening to Chad TV. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and stay tuned for the match highlights and some extra bit of footage we'll have for you post-match.